Hello, hello, hello. Today we are going to talk about some ways in which you can fit more reading into your daily life if you are so inclined. Reading is a great way to escape, and I know a lot of us are looking for ways to escape right now, and it's a pretty healthy and can be a pretty low-cost way to slip out of this world and into another one for a little bit. First, you know the drill, you know the deal. We gotta do some channel maintenance, channel hygiene, channels are time. I got you. So if you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh geez, if you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're old here, go double check, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like if you like, leave a comment. It could be anything related to the video. It could just be hello, a few emojis, whatever, as long as it's cool and respectful. Hit the notification bell. As always, I have my tip jars down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every dollar or two helps. That is what allows me to make content. Also, you are invited to my Patreon. I know not everybody can come, but you can't say you weren't invited. The link to my Patreon is down below, and I post a lot over there. If you want extra content but you don't want to leave this platform, you can join YouTube memberships by clicking join below or going to my channel page, clicking the join button. That is content that is exclusive to YouTube members. I'm gonna pop in some a Trident vibe. One vibe. And the first tip I have, you guys know I am a huge advocate of an e-reader. So here's the Kindle. It's just called the Kindle. It's not the Kindle Paperwhite. It's the cheapest of the Kindles. And it can fit in a pretty small bag. You can have hundreds of books on here. So you can mood read. You can read several books without having to carry several books. You can pull this out instead of reaching for your phone. You can pull out your Kindle. Best investments I've ever made are my e-readers as far as helping me read more. And for some reason you read really fast on an e-reader. I don't know why, but just like clicking through I don't know. I tear books up. I tear through them when I'm reading them on an e-reader faster than when I'm reading them and turning pages. So for the men out there that don't carry purses, or women that don't like to carry purses, they're making e-readers now the size of like smaller than your phone, the size of almost a credit card. So that's an easy way to slip into your pocket, and I think they start at like $100 or so. I have my notes right here. So yes, e-readers, you can change the font size on the e-readers. So if you struggle with, we're getting older, if you struggle with little words on a page, you just change the font size. You don't have to get large print of books anymore. You can just use your Kindle to read in large print. And then audiobooks are great. I read a couple audiobooks a month, typically, just on my commute to work and back. And then as I'm getting ready for work, those are the main places that I squeeze audiobooks into. Getting ready for work, driving to work, sometimes driving home from work, but usually after work I need to listen to like some crazy music. Also walks, put your headphones on, put your audiobook on, take your walk. You're knocking two things out at once. You're listening to your audiobook and you are getting your exercise. You're waiting, you maybe have pickups and drop-offs for your kids and you have to wait in the car. Audiobooks, waiting in drive-thrus. Audiobooks are great, but I will warn you, if you listen to smut, that can get awkward really quick. So just remember to pause it before you get up to the speaking parts of the drive-thru. If you're working from home, I know a lot of people that work from home and they're not like camera. They're not on camera, so they have an audiobook going in the bathroom while they're entering stuff or whatever they're doing. Have books or have your e-reader by your lounge areas. So just, have a book by the couch, having a book by the bed, taking a book outside with you when you go to your hammock or like on the patio, and just setting it there. Like maybe you don't know if you're going to read or not, but just having it there. You will have a tendency to pick it up for a few minutes, knock out 10 pages. Don't underestimate 10 pages. 10 pages is 10 pages. Do that a couple times a day and you're at like 40 pages. Reading a few books at a time. Now, some people don't do this. Some people can't do this. Some people don't want to do this. I do this. I can have 6 books going at once. But I do feel like it does help you read more, because sometimes you'll look at a book that you're reading and you're like, I'm just not feeling fantasy right now. Or I'm just not feeling thriller right now. And you have the other option to pick up. I usually have at least 3 books going at once. And I kind of have to, because my library books come in. I have 2 weeks to read those, so sometimes I have to hold on some other stuff so I can get my library book in. The Libby app. Please, for the love of God, download the Libby app and put your library card. Go get a library card, then download the Libby app. It's free. You can DNF at will without guilt because it was free. So if you start up a book, Libby app is where you can rent ebooks to your phone or to your Kindle from the library. So you're renting them like just from the public library in a digital form, audiobooks and ebooks. But you can DNF and you can just send it back if you don't like it. Also, there's no overdues, because when it is due, it will take itself back. You do not have to worry about turning it back in. You can also read these on your laptop or your iPad if you have those, your desktop. I have reading popcorn books. Now, some people say, oh, don't ever read like a... And I didn't used to read Frida McFadden's, but don't read a Frida McFadden, or don't read a cheesy little thriller or a cheesy little romance. But to be honest, throw those popcorn books. They're great palate cleansers. They're fun little times. There's tons of plot holes, which are fun sometimes. If you're reading them as such, like, oh, this is gonna be funny, I wonder what the plot holes are gonna be. Like, if you gotta set yourself up to enjoy the popcorn thriller. Just like little popcorn TV shows or something. Just throw them in there as palate cleansers, or just read a bunch of them if that's your thing. Who cares? You're still reading. If you are out with just your phone, make sure the Kindle app is on your phone and the Libby app is on your phone, and then you can just read. If you pick up the phone, try to train your muscle memory to go straight into Kindle or straight into Libby and read your book or read your audiobook. Because a lot of times you don't even realize it, but you're clicking on your phone and you're going straight into an app. And the more times you do it, that's just what your brain does. And then I have bedtime reading, after you put your kids to bed, or you delegate, your spouse's night to put the kid to bed or whatever. Read until you pass out. Don't take your phone into bed. You can maybe put some ambience on the TV or a background show that you don't care too much about if you like to have talking in the background, or ASMR or whatever. And then you have just your book or just your Kindle. Now I'm going to tell you why Kindle is great for this, because with a book you have to have a light on, right? You have to have some light source. Now I do have a little light by my bed that has a clicker that I can reach, but it's a pain in the butt when you want to read until you pass out. It's a pain in the butt to get up and turn the light off. So Kindle is backlit and you can just read, and then a lot of times I just pass out with my Kindle on my chest or next to me, or I toss it over on the floor. I usually read for at least an hour before bed, and it actually puts me to sleep. Even if it's interesting, it still puts me, it just calms. It's the whole vibe. It's just, okay. And the last one I have is reading to your kids. Read chapter books that you will also enjoy. So it's not just about the kids, it's about you and the kids. What are we all going to enjoy here? Classics are good for this. If you have older kids, you can do 30-minute family reading sessions where you're all reading your own books. Everybody come to the living room. We're going to do a 30-minute reading session. Bring your book, bring your e-reader, whatever. and we're all gonna knock out 30 minutes as a family in our own little, it's like body doubling kind of. So those were just the quick tips that I have on how to fit reading into your life. As I said, it's a good way to escape, and trust me when I say it's a pretty healthy way to escape compared to the others that I've tried. It'll keep you going for the time being. Reading has saved my life many a day. If you watched this all the way to the end, thank you very much. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, good night, sleep, and